Okay, what's up, guys? This is Eli the Ninja back with another video. This time is a little different. I'm actually going to go over some of the recent announcements from HCS and Tashi regarding next season and some of the changes they're making to balance for the game. So this was posted 14 minutes ago. Go ahead and take a look at this. We'll have more to share in the lead up to the HCS Charlotte Major. So. All right, HCS Year 2 maps, modes, and settings. So let's see what they got here. So our aim for Year 2 with regards to the map and mode combinations, refine the list to respond to players and fan feedback, as well as provide a platform, yada, yada, yada. Okay, they're listening. Great. Love to hear that. So first we've got capture the flag on Argyle, Empyrean, and Aquarius. So we no longer have Catalyst. Bazaar's been gone for a little while now. That's interesting. So these are our only 3 CTF maps now. Hopefully they made some major changes to Argyle and Empyrean, because these ones, everyone had a lot of issues with the level of sandbox that are on this map, on these maps. Slayer, Empyrean, Aquarius, Livefire, Recharge, Streets. So we lost Catalyst. Okay. King of the Hill is the same. Strongholds is the same. Oddball is the same. Okay. Balance updates. So Empyrean and Argyle, this is dropping tomorrow. So this update is tomorrow. We've got Argyle, Bulldog being replaced by the Sidekick. That's a big deal. Bulldog was definitely a problem, having 2 of those on the map. Commandos, both the Commando spawns are now BRs. That's good. Fusion coils completely removed. I like this. I did make a tweet talking about how I'm pretty sure the fusion coils are kind of messing with the frames or the server. I don't know exactly the technical reason behind it, but it feels like fusion coils cause lag in some way, shape, or form on some of these maps. So, plus they're just kind of a cheesy mechanic. Picking it up and throwing it at somebody, that's just stupid, in my opinion. Scrap cannon removed. Is that the turret? I guess that's the turret. I'm assuming that's what that is. Detachment. Okay, I guess the drop wall had 2 charges. All right, we don't really care about that. That's not an HCS. Update 2, sandbox tweaks targeted for mid-February ahead of Charlotte. Okay, so this will be actual changes that are not coming tomorrow, but will be changes made before we compete in Charlotte. So ammo rack updates. In the ranked arena playlist and HCS, each weapon rack will now be set to a red rack, meaning once a weapon is picked up, the rack won't spawn another until the weapon is despawned. So this is interesting because, in my opinion, there are some items that should be a little bit more available than others, or at least have the opportunity for more than one of them to exist on the map at the same time, as long as that timer is spread out. So, for example, the plasma pistol on Livefire, I think it would be okay if it just respawned every minute or 90 seconds instead of every 30 seconds. Because now, if it's just the one, then, only one person can have the plasma pistol at a time, which is an improvement. I just think that maybe it went a little bit too far in that direction. Frag grenades damage radius will be reduced. That's good. Nades have been a bit overpowered since the game dropped. So now the second time we've seen frag nades get nerfed, which is a big deal. Drop weapon mechanic speed will be at parity with the normal weapon switching. So, yep, we knew that was coming. That means that drop weapon is no longer useful. Sniper hipfire, reduction in random error angle when no-scoping. Thank you. Thank you. I've had so many scenarios where I just tried to pull the trigger twice going for no-scopes, and it's like if you try to no-scope twice in a quick succession, the bloom on that reticle gets huge. And even if your second shot is perfectly accurate, it has a pretty high chance to go in a random direction. So that's huge. Update 3, we're still finalizing all the changes we're looking to make here, so please don't consider these to be 100% final until we circle back and confirm in February. The soonest that these could release is Season 3. Okay, these are these. Okay. That's everything below. Okay, so footstep audio. We're adjusting footstep audio to better suit competitive play. Enemies are now harder to hear at distance and easier to hear when very close. And we improved accuracy of enemy location based on footstep audio when enemies are above, below, or behind you. Interesting. Audio, I feel like, is one of those things that is being increasingly difficult for devs to figure out. I know Apex Legends has a multitude of audio issues where you just simply don't hear people sometimes. I actually thought that the sound design in Halo is better than a lot of the current titles. However, the footsteps are definitely too loud. Like, you can just hear people from basically across the map. If you go back and watch some of the 1v1 footage from the tournament that Booba just won, like, you see so many times that it looks like the guy's cheating because he's like basically tracking a guy through a wall, but at the same time, you know, if he's got a nice set of headphones, he could probably just hear where the guy is, which is probably problematic in a game like Halo, where like there should be an element of surprise and like flanks should be more effective. Your flank shouldn't just be nullified by the fact that your feet make sounds. I think that's kind of lame. So cool to see that they're taking this direction with it. Mangler will vault from competitive. Okay, finally. Will undergo a rework in the future before being reintroduced. So curious to see what kind of rework they're going to go for when it comes to that. I guess we'll have to see when that happens, because it sounds like they do plan to bring it back to competitive play at some point. Sword will vault from competitive completely. Awesome. So this isn't happening till after Charlotte, but they've already decided to say, well, I guess they did say it's not 100%, but it looks like they do fully intend to remove the sword from competitive, which is great. Will undergo finer tuning before reintroducing, as well as updated placing on maps better suited for the weapon. Okay. That is fair. Commando, slight retuning to reduce effectiveness. We felt the winter update pushed the needle a little too far, tuning it again to find the sweet spot. So this is, what, the 4th time they've changed the Commando? It was too strong in the beta. Then it was too weak on launch. Then they basically buffed the way the aiming and like headshot mechanic works in the winter update, and now they're going back to another nerf. So the Commando has now seen 4 changes going up and down in either direction. That's interesting. Spike grenades reducing randomness to alleviate frustration. I'm assuming they saw the clip where Frosty gets killed at the craziest angle ever by a spike grenade on streets. Glad to see this. Honestly, with G1 last year, that Sentinels game 5 that we played, 50-49, we lost because of some random bounces of a spike grenade. Squale was in the garage about to peek towards like the nest area to get kind of intel on that region. Somebody on Sentinels threw a spike grenade into onto the wall in the garage, and Squale was not even like in the same area as the grenade, but one of the spikes bounced off the wall across from him and then bounced to him and got him to no shields instantly from full shields. So he had to back off. He couldn't help Boo Boo, who was kind of trapped out there. And we ended up losing 50-49 to Sentinels. That would have been Sentinels' lowest placing ever if we pulled off that victory. But regardless, glad to see that they're changing spike grenades. There's definitely some frustration involved in that. Disruptor, we're looking to reduce effectiveness and or utility of the weapon in order to find the sweet spot. Yes, the Disruptor is kind of OP right now. I think it's underused at the lower ELOs, but the higher ELOs are realizing that that thing shreds. Pulse Carbine will vault from competitive. We'll explore a rework in the future. Interesting. Yeah, this is kind of like, these two are kind of in the same category. Pulse Carbine, Plasma Pistol, they both have kind of like a longer travel, or basically a slower travel speed, which Makes it so you can just shoot it, switch to your other gun, and then the damage from either one is hitting at the same time as your headshot, so you just basically instant kill someone, or that's what it feels like to be killed by it. Plasma pistol they're not getting rid of, but they're going to reduce the effectiveness in order to find the sweet spot. Okay. Ammo reduction. We're reducing ammo for Heatwave, Stalker Rifle, Bulldog, and Shock Rifle. We've needed this for a while now, to be honest. This will definitely tune down the sandbox overpoweredness that we're kind of experiencing right now, where, you know, someone picks up a Heatwave on Aquarius and they can go on a Killing Frenzy quite easily. Same with any of these guns. But to just reduce them to like one less clip, Heatwave is 7 shots, Bulldog I think is also 7 shots, Shock Rifle is 4 shots, and I think the Bulldog comes with 1 extra clip, Heatwave comes with 1 or 2. The Shock Rifle has a lot of ammo, so reducing this ammo will make a big difference in how effective those are. So I am glad to see this. There will be new additions in Season 3 coming into the game as well with Ranked and HCS. These include the Shroud Screen equipment as well as the Bandit Rifle. We're expecting these to have a meaningful impact on the gameplay meta, and we can't wait to see how they'll perform in your hands. Interesting. So from what I saw of the Bandit Rifle, it kind of just looked like it looked very similar to the Commando as far as like play goes, but I could be totally wrong. If it's like a single shot weapon, like a DMR, that will be interesting. But from what I remember in the what they showed, like showing it off, it looked like it was actually going to be like an automatic weapon. I could be wrong about that though. Once these updates have been released, our intention is to more quickly respond to player feedback and make smaller tweaks throughout the season that maintain a fine competitive balance rather than waiting longer and having to make such larger tweaks. With regards to timing, our intention is never to pull the rug out from competitors. Okay, yeah, they're basically admitting they fucked up a little bit, so we don't need to read all of that. So this is overall great, I think. In general, love to see this. So I'm glad that we're seeing some of these big changes tomorrow, but the biggest changes are not happening until looks like probably Season 3, which is what, March? Yeah, that'll be a huge change when that happens. So be sure to check out, I'll be covering those changes for sure as soon as we know more information and when they're launched, just kind of like their impact on the meta. I'm sure I'll have some videos about that. All right, well, that covers that. I thought there was also an announcement for the roadmap. Let's see. More updates still coming from us. Charlotte Ticket Scene Passes, online qualifiers. Okay, so the Year 2 roadmap is still on the way. But this is a great start. I'm excited to see this. Just so you guys know, there is also the Spartan Showdown that HCS has been covering a little bit here. The teams that qualified were pretty interesting. I was going through those earlier. You'll notice there's no G1 on here, but don't worry that we do have G1 announcements coming soon. Pretty happy with how things turned out on that end. But yeah, that pretty much covers it. This was kind of like a surprise video because I thought that you guys might want to hear my thoughts on the changes. I am still working on a few new videos similar to the last one that I put out, the top 5 tips or top 5 mistakes of amateurs. I have another video that I'm working on right now that should be out in the next couple of days, so be on the lookout for that. And I just want to say thanks for your continued support on the channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that bullshit that all the YouTubers always say. So, all right, guys, take it easy.